Inside the palace of Zeno, a terrifying and menacing power was surging rapidly before the eyes of the king. The broken bodies of the guards were scattered across the floor, effortlessly defeated by the Goku imposter. The energy continued to climb to impossible heights, and the entire palace began to tremble under the pressure. A blinding burst of light exploded from the center, slowly revealing his features until his new form finally emerged. Zeno looked at him with genuine wonder, completely unaware that the man standing before him was not the Goku he knew and loved. With a voice full of innocence and surprise, Zeno asked, "Goku, where did you get all this power? You even surpassed my personal guards without even trying." The entity did not answer at first and simply wore a calm, chilling smile. He was fully aware that Zeno still believed he was the real Goku. At that very moment, out in the depths of space, the real Goku felt that massive pressure and pinpointed its exact location. However, the Grand Priest intercepted him mid-flight to prevent him from interfering. Without waiting for an explanation, Goku broke through the blockade at an incredible speed. He zoomed past the Grand Priest without stopping, while the priest immediately turned and began to chase him down. It did not take long for Goku to arrive at the Palace of Zeno, stunned to find that the source of the power was coming from inside. But before he could move another inch, the Grand Priest appeared in front of him again in a flash. The priest completely blocked his path and spoke with a sharp, cold tone. "I will not allow you to enter. You must turn back right now, Goku." Goku looked at him in total shock and asked, "Have you lost your mind? You know that all of existence is at stake here. What are you hiding? Are you protecting the enemy or something?" Before the Grand Priest could give an answer, his eyes widened as the massive doors behind him slowly opened. Zeno stepped out, accompanied by Goku Black in his new stabilized form. Goku was utterly confused by what he saw, realizing that Zeno had fallen right into a trap. "Zeno, why is this person with you?" Zeno looked back at him innocently and asked, "Are you Goku too? How is that possible?" Goku Black quickly interrupted the conversation. "Allow me to explain, Lord Zeno. This intruder disguised himself as me to deceive you and steal your position." The real Goku immediately tried to object to the lie. "Stop this manipulation right now. You are the one who invaded the palace and deceived Zeno. Why did you run away from me before? Wasn't your entire goal to get revenge?" Zeno raised his hand, silencing them both. "Stop! I want to understand what is happening." He slowly turned toward the Grand Priest and asked a direct question. "Grand Priest, tell me, which one of them is the real Goku?" The expression on the Grand Priest's face changed as visible confusion and fear took over. He knew that if he opposed the disguised pharaoh, he would stand no chance against his power. So he looked at Zeno and said, "Lord Zeno, the one standing beside you is Goku. The other one is your enemy." Pure shock washed over Goku's face as he looked at the Grand Priest, realizing he was a traitor. "Now I finally understand. That is why you tried to stop me from interfering. You are only trying to save your own skin from him. Why did you choose to lie instead of helping me save Zeno and all of existence from this monster?" Zeno remained silent, but Goku Black spoke up with total confidence. "There is no need for all this doubt. We can settle this in a very simple and obvious way." He looked at Zeno and proposed a plan. "You know that Goku is the strongest Saiyan in the world. I propose a tournament. This intruder and I will fight, and if I am truly Goku, I will defeat him with ease right before your eyes. The loser will have his entire existence erased forever." Zeno finally smiled and said, "Okay, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let us begin and find out which one of you is the real Goku." At that exact moment, Goku realized that this was no longer just a battle. It was a deadly trap from which he had no way to retreat. Back on Earth, as everyone followed the events through the staff of Whis, the angel spoke in shock. "I cannot believe my father refused to intervene and help Goku." Vados understood the grim reality of the situation. Father knows that the Pharaoh is more dangerous than any being in existence. He chose silence rather than revealing the truth at the wrong time. Goten could not contain his anger and jumped up. "So my father is up there all alone? We have to go help him immediately." However, Whis refused to let them go. "No, the situation there is too delicate for us to interfere. Goku is the strongest among us. Any approach would only disrupt his concentration and could change the course of the battle for the worse." Inside an arena isolated from reality itself, a solid battlefield formed where Goku and Goku Black stood face to face. The energy between them was so immense that even the void itself trembled under a heavy silence. Goku Black smiled coldly and said, "Goku, what a perfect coincidence. A battle directly in front of Zeno himself. There is no room for mistakes here, is there?" Goku replied with pure rage in his voice. "From the very beginning, you refused to show your true self, hiding behind my name as if you were too weak to face me as you are. But today, nothing will remain hidden. I will force you to face your true self, without masks and without shadows." Above them, Zeno watched with intense curiosity while the Grand Priest stood beside him in silence. It was as though a single word could reveal a secret that should never be told. Then, Zeno gave the command, "All right, let us see which one of you is the real Goku. Fight now." Their power levels suddenly surged to the heavens. They rushed toward each other and exchanged a strike that collided in the center of the arena. Each one pushed forward with all his strength, shouting under the pressure as a massive explosion erupted. The clash did not stop for even a single second. Instead, it turned into a relentless chain of rapid attacks that filled the entire space. Meanwhile, the Grand Priest grew uneasy because of the overwhelming level of power on display. He watched carefully, trying to hide his anxiety until he suddenly heard a voice behind him. "Grand Priest." The Grand Priest flinched and answered, "Yes, Lord Zeno?" Zeno asked, "Can you tell me who has the advantage? Their movements are so fast that I cannot see anything at all." The Grand Priest replied, pretending to be certain of the outcome. "It is Goku. Goku has the advantage. I mean, the one with the red hair." Their blows were coming one after another so quickly that even Zeno's eyes could barely follow the action. At that very moment on Earth, something completely unexpected happened. The Supreme Kai of Universe 7 appeared, bringing several Saiyans from different worlds, including Broly, Kaba, and Kale. Whis turned toward them in surprise and asked, "Supreme Kai, why have you arrived so suddenly? The situation is far more dangerous than you can imagine. The Pharaoh's primary targets are the Saiyans, and they must be hidden immediately for their own protection." "I have a plan for that." Gohan objected angrily, asking how they could hide while his father was in grave danger. Trunks added firmly, "I will not leave until I know where my father is. He told me he was going away to train and would return soon." But the Supreme Kai revealed the shocking truth. Vegeta is not training. He has already been deceived, and he is imprisoned inside a sealed dimension where he is slowly dying. "We cannot reach him." Those words seemed to stop time itself. Even Whis could not hide his shock, realizing that his father had turned his back on them. Now they had no choice but to listen to the Supreme Kai's plan. After a long series of violent clashes, Goku finally managed to find an opening in his opponent's defenses. His fist launched forward with tremendous force and struck Goku Black directly in the stomach. A massive shockwave exploded throughout the arena. The enemy spat blood and lost his balance as he heard Goku's voice near him. "You may copy my power, and you may copy my appearance, but there is one thing you can never reach." Goku grabbed him violently by the face and lifted him off the ground. "The spirit that brought me to this level of power cannot be stolen. That is why you will always be nothing more than a cowardly thief." But the surprising part was that Goku Black showed no sign of pain or discomfort. Instead, he began to laugh hysterically. "Do you really think I am still planning to win through raw power alone? The difference between you and me, Goku, is that you fight to create an outcome. As for me, I only fight after I have already created the outcome." Goku grew furious as energy ignited within his palm before he hurled the enemy toward a gigantic pillar. The body crashed into the stone with tremendous force. In the next moment, Goku raised his hand and fired dozens of energy restraints. They wrapped around Goku Black's arms, legs, and body, locking him firmly against the pillar. Despite all of that, Goku Black was still smiling. "Do you know what is truly pathetic about you, Goku? It is the fact that you still believe power is what controls a battle. Every step, every decision, and every ounce of anger you feel right now is moving exactly where I wanted it to go." Goku did not understand what he meant, but behind the pillar, out of his sight, dozens of energy blades had begun to form. They were sharp, silent, and unnoticed by anyone. "Go on then, Goku. Show me your next move." In a single instant, Goku vanished from his position to deliver a final strike. But the enemy suddenly reversed the situation, throwing Goku off balance. He completely redirected the momentum of the attack, pushing Goku directly toward the hidden blades. They rushed toward him at a terrifying speed, but at the very last moment, Goku sensed the danger. He quickly pulled his limbs inward and slid through the narrow gaps between the blades. Then, all of the blades exploded toward the enemy instead. Goku survived and kept his eyes fixed on the rising cloud of dust. As the dust cleared, Goku Black was standing there without any real signs of damage. The energy blades hovered above his palms, slowly spinning like living creatures waiting for a command. To be honest, it is an honor to wear your form, Goku. I have tested your speed enough for one day. Now, let us see if your mind is as fast as your body. Suddenly, the blades shot forward at an incredible speed. Goku Black raised both of his arms into the air. Goku paused for a moment, feeling that something was very wrong. The blades returned from behind him at blinding speed. They passed directly through Goku Black's own arms, and both of his arms fell off, completely severed. Goku's eyes widened in disbelief as he shouted, "What? What does this even mean?" "I can see the confusion on your face, Goku. Don't worry, I did not do this to cut off my own arms. I did it to increase the number of opponents you have to face." Goku Black suddenly vanished and appeared above him with a lightning-fast kick. Goku dodged it easily, but he immediately felt something approaching from behind. A powerful punch exploded into his face and sent him flying across the arena. He barely regained his balance while holding his jaw. Damn it, deception and trickery are always your style. The second severed arm charged in from a different angle. Then came a kick from the main body. Then a punch from the first arm. Suddenly, the battle descended into complete chaos. The attacks were no longer coming from a single source. It was impossible to predict where the next strike would come from. The assaults came from above, from behind, and from impossible angles. The balance of the battle began to shift. Above them, Zeno watched the scene with genuine amazement. Wow, Goku is winning even after losing his limbs. Goku finally collapsed onto the ground, and the fighting stopped for a moment. Then suddenly, the severed limbs returned to their places on Goku Black's body. He laughed and said, "It is over, Goku. In just a few minutes, Zeno will erase you with his own hand. When that happens, there will be nobody left to tell the truth. Your friends, your family, and all the Saiyans will follow you into non-existence. When everything is over, nobody will even remember that you ever existed." Goku saw his arrogance and grew even angrier. "If you think my fall means their fall, then you never understood the power that binds us together." The ground began to tremble violently. Goku's fist slammed into the earth, and a dense golden aura started rising from his body. You may deceive Zeno, and you may deceive the Grand Priest. You may even deceive all of existence, but don't dream for a single moment that you can steal the destiny of those I protect. A massive wave of golden power surged toward his opponent. This time Goku was unleashing every bit of power he had left. He was overwhelming his enemy with crushing force. The pressure became so immense that the battlefield seemed to collapse. The Grand Priest and Zeno remained protected inside a barrier, while the arena was consumed by an explosion. The light persisted for several long seconds before gradually fading away. As the smoke disappeared, the truth was finally revealed. Goku Black was lying on the ground, defeated. Goku slowly walked toward him and said, "Listen to me carefully. Trickery and deception may buy you some time, but nobody can live forever behind a mask. You can copy my appearance and my power, but the mark of Goku cannot be stolen." Above them, Zeno watched with intense focus. "So, was I mistaken? Maybe you really are the real Goku." A faint laugh came from the defeated Goku Black. "I like your confidence, Goku. You are right. Trickery and deception do not last forever. But that only matters when you are still alive to see the end." Suddenly, the ground beneath Goku's feet shook. Something sharp pierced through his back. Goku's eyes widened as blood scattered through the air. With great difficulty, he looked down and discovered the truth. It was not a blade or an energy blast. It was a Saiyan tail that had emerged from deep beneath the ground and pierced straight through his body. "I told you, Goku, the problem is not the attack you can see. It is the one I prepared before the battle even began." At that same moment on Earth, the friends brought out the Dragon Balls as instructed. The Supreme Kai said, "We no longer have time. The Pharaoh does not just want Goku. His true target is every Saiyan alive. If you stay here, he will find you sooner or later." Gohan immediately objected. I will not leave this place until I know how we are going to save my father. If you have a plan, show it to us right now." The Dragon Balls began to glow, and Shenron appeared. Everyone stood ready, waiting for the instructions to carry out the plan. Meanwhile, back at the arena, Goku fell to the ground having lost his transformation. His body was completely drained of all power. Goku Black smiled and looked up at Zeno. "Lord Zeno, I believe everything is clear now. The battle is over, and the true threat stands defeated before you. You may intervene now." Zeno turned toward the Grand Priest and asked, "Grand Priest, is it really over?" The Grand Priest swallowed nervously before answering. "Yes, Lord Zeno, it does not appear that this battle will continue any longer. The opponent has completely collapsed." Zeno remained silent for a long moment as he stared down at Goku. Goku slowly raised his eyes and spoke in a weak, pained voice. "Zeno, I know you cannot see everything, but I also know you have not forgotten what brought us together. Sometimes, the truth does not need strength to prove itself. It only needs someone willing to see it with their heart instead of their eyes." Zeno froze in place and did not respond. Goku Black quickly stepped in to finish the job. "Lord Zeno, if he is not eliminated now, the danger will become greater than you can imagine. This being possesses a power that should not be allowed to exist." After several moments of hesitation, Zeno raised his hand. A bright light began gathering around his palm. The entire arena trembled as the power of erasure prepared to strike. 1 second passed, then another. But Goku was still there, exactly as he was. Nothing had changed at all. Goku Black's smile vanished as he realized the truth. The power carried by Goku was the power of Yamamushi, the first Saiyan. It was a primordial force that did not submit to the laws of erasure. Goku Black turned toward the Grand Priest. "Grand Priest, carry out what must be done. This person must die a slow and painful death." Then he turned back to Zeno and continued, "Lord Zeno, I have a suggestion to make this even more entertaining. What do you think about expanding this tournament to include the remaining Saiyan warriors? It would be fun to see them all gathered in a single arena fighting for their lives." Zeno looked at him with childlike curiosity before laughing. "Ha, that is a great idea. Let us do it." At that same moment on Earth, everyone was still standing before Shenron with worry on their faces. The Supreme Kai spoke. "Shenron, first of all, we ask you to immediately free Vegeta from the sealed dimension." Shenron remained silent for a moment before answering slowly. "I cannot. A higher power is preventing me from accessing him." The Supreme Kai quickly tried another wish. "Then bring Goku here to Earth immediately." But Shenron replied with the same calm tone. "I cannot do that either. He is inside the same hidden dimension." Everyone was stunned, unable to understand how that had happened. Gohan quickly shouted, "Then make them immortal so they cannot die from hunger or thirst." Shenron finally replied, "Very well, that wish can be granted." At the exact moment the wish began to take effect, the air suddenly shook. Shenron's massive body started to break apart before their eyes. Then he vanished completely without warning. Shock spread throughout the group as they looked up and saw the Grand Priest standing above them. He looked down with an eerie, cold calmness. Wiz shouted, "Father, what are you doing here? Why did you stop Shenron from granting the wish?" But the Grand Priest did not answer or explain his actions. He had come for only one purpose, to carry out the order he was given. At that same moment, in a distant place within an endless dimension, Goku and Vegeta lay unconscious on the ground. They were trapped inside an unbreakable seal. There was no food, no energy, and no door leading out. Now I have a question for all of you. In your opinion, why did the Grand Priest intervene? What is the Grand Priest's true intention after this intervention? Write your answer in the comments below. I promise you that if this video reaches 100 correct answers, I will upload the next episode. Do not forget to support us with a like and subscribe to the channel. See you soon.